as we all know, we've already heard this morning, and you're all part of the AMCC family and network. This is good, hard work, and we need a lot of inspiration in doing it. We need a lot of smarts. And on my little journey, I was lucky enough to be introduced to Leon Panetta, and have had a great relationship over many years, and so I thought it would be fun if I could impose on him to come and say a few words and talk to us a little bit. Maybe we can have a question or two for former Secretary of Defense Panetta, former there's a lot of former CIA director, former OMB, former Chief of Staff to the President, former Congressman. Leon Panetta, please.
Thank you all very much for this invitation. The Manufacturing Momentum Summit Workshop is an important thing for all of you to do. And I'm glad that you're coming together to try to figure out the way forward and how to make sure you're developing the kind of priority jobs that are important for our country. I want to thank in particular my friend Matt. I met Matt, I think it was back in 1992, almost 34 years ago. He served in Navy JAG and was a Monterey County prosecutor, and helped him get a job at Cal EPA, and then helped him get a job as a senior policy consul in the Obama administration as well. He's done a great job for you in the production of priority products. I think America needs to provide good jobs and sustainable development. In all the jobs I've had, particularly in national security, we need to have priority products in key areas that are important to our security and that are important to our economy. Developing products in defense, developing products in transportation for our economy, in agriculture, in IT, and in healthcare industries as well. I want to thank you all for your leadership because it matters. It's important to be able to continue to do the important work that our country needs if we're going to be strong, not just today, but in the future. I'm the son of Italian immigrants. And I used to ask my dad, my mom and he came to this country like millions of others. I used to ask him why he traveled all of that distance to come to a strange country. He had the comfort of family. He came from a poor area in Italy, but he had family and friends. Why did he leave all of that to come to this country? And I never forgot his answer. He said, because my mother and he believed they could give their children a better life in this country. That's the American dream. I've had the chance to live that dream. And in many ways, it's what you're involved in. The ability to make products that can give people a better life and give them a chance at the American dream. I don't have to tell you this is a time of challenge. It's a time of testing. It's a pivotal moment that we're in right now. And my thinking is that this country can go in one of two directions, take one of two paths. We can either be an American Renaissance in the 21st century, or we could be an America in decline. I honestly think we could be an American Renaissance. The fundamentals of our economy are strong. We have an economy and principles in our economy that are innovative, that are creative, and that produce great products. I see it a lot out here in Silicon Valley, but I see it everywhere. in the country. And I think we could teach young people the skills that they need in order to deal with a lot of new technology that's being developed and a lot of new products that are being developed. Young people need to have the skills in that kind of world. And I think we could have a country where Republicans and Democrats learn to govern together, not to fight each other, but to govern together. I've often said I've seen Washington at its best, and I've seen Washington at its worst. The good news is I saw Washington work, where Democrats and Republicans work together on the key issues facing this country, whether it was a Democratic president or a Republican president. I can remember during the Reagan administration, Republicans and Democrats worked together to pass Social Security reform as the third rail of politics. We worked together to pass immigration reform, something that's very tough for the Congress to deal with these days. And we passed tax reform as well. And we passed some very tough measures to help balance the federal budget. Imagine, balance the federal budget. So I'd like to see Democrats and Republicans working together rather than being divided. And I think we have to believe in the rule of law. We have to believe in our Constitution. And we have to believe in world leadership. The United States has to be a world leader in a very dangerous world. We're facing threats from Russia, from China. We're fighting a war in Iran. This is a moment in time when the United States has to provide strong world leadership. We could be that kind of country. We could be that kind of country with a strong manufacturing base that's so important to the ability of our economy to be strong. Or we could be a country in decline if we allow our differences, our hates, our prejudices to eat us up. It'll divide our country as it's divided it now. And if we continue on that path, we'll go the way of past empires. Empires throughout history that achieved a lot of greatness, but ultimately could not find the leadership in order to deal with the challenges that were there. What path we take will be determined by the quality of leadership that we have. I tell the students here at the Panetta Institute that in our democracy we govern either by leadership or by crisis. If leadership is there, and all of you know this, if you're a leader in business or in politics, you got to make tough decisions. You got to take risks. And if you provide that kind of leadership, then you can avoid crisis. But if that leadership isn't there, then we'll be a democracy that governs largely by crisis. And frankly, that's been for too long the case. We've largely been governing by crisis after crisis after crisis. I believe in American leadership. I believe in American leadership. This country for 250 years has experienced a number of crises, whether it was a civil war or world wars, whether it was depressions, recessions, natural disasters. But we were always able to find the leadership that got us through it. And I think we will again. Why? Because I have to tell you, the real strength of this country is not in Washington. The real strength of this country is in people like all of you and in communities across this country. Communities that are willing to work together and to do what's right. De Tocqueville was a Frenchman who came to this country in the 1800s. And then he wrote a book about his experiences. And he said, America is a country that, unlike Europe, there are communities where people care for one another and they work together in order to improve our communities. And I believe that. I believe that. I've been everywhere in this country. And despite the fact that there are red states and blue states, let me tell you, there are American families in every one of those states who believe that they have to have a good job, who believe that they need security, who believe that they want to provide the best education for their children, to be able to provide health care for their family and their parents, to be able to afford a home, to be able to afford the things that are important to having a good life. I've seen that kind of leadership. I've seen that kind of leadership, not just in communities across this country. I've seen it in the eyes of our men and women in uniform. I visited the war zones when I was Secretary of Defense and met with them everywhere I went. I looked into their eyes, and these were young men and women who were willing to fight and die for this country. Fight and die for this country. They had the courage to do that. And very frankly, we need that same kind of courage in our elected leaders. I saw it not only in those men and women in uniform, I saw it in the SEALs that conducted the operation to go after bin Laden, an operation that I ran when I was director of the CIA. Intelligence and special forces working together to go after the number one criminal in this country responsible for 9/11. That's the kind of leadership I'm talking about. It's leadership that's not only willing to take risks, it's leadership that is willing to fight to make sure that we achieve what's necessary. I once had a Jesuit at Santa Clara University who stopped me and said, Leon, God gives you life, but it's up to you to make a life. And he told a story that I'll share with you about the rabbi and the priest who decided they would get to know each other a little better. And so they would go to events together and talk and try to understand each other's religion. So one night they went to a boxing match, and just before the bell rang, one of the boxers made the sign of the cross. The rabbi nudged the priest and said, "What does that mean?" The priest said, "It doesn't mean a damn thing if he can't fight." We bless ourselves with the hope that somehow everything's going to be fine in this country. But it doesn't mean a damn thing unless we're willing to fight for it. For all of you, it means fighting to develop the kind of priority products that are important to our country, our economy, and our security. It means fighting to make sure we have an America in Renaissance and that we are a country that is inspiring the technological ability that we need in order to be strong in the 21st century. And most of all, that we are a country where we have a government of, by, and for all people. It's great to be with you. I wish you all the very best. I can't tell you how important all of you are to making our country great. Thanks for your patriotism.
Thank you. Leon Panetta, everybody.